So the idea here of global recruitment is there are different sources. And companies also, they rely on different ways how to recruit people. Internet and also recruitment agencies are very common for mid-level positions, and agencies rather for upper, but also for mid-level positions. Selection methods is then you have attracted the people, and then you need to select the people. For foreign companies, the main problem is recruitment, attraction, not selection. Selection is important, don't get me wrong, but the main challenge is to attract people to begin with. And the idea is the more you can attract, the more you can select and you can filter the best candidate among a pool of candidates. Some general principles for selection would be triangulation. You would like to use different sources. Do not rely on resume check. Do not rely on interview. Do not rely only on this case study and so forth, but you would like to rely on multiple methods and on multiple raters and evaluations. Particularly if you are trying to recruit, think about maybe a subsidiary manager for your foreign subsidiary. Usually, the selection committee comprises people from the subsidiary, from the headquarters, and maybe also executive search company and so forth, and they all would then rate together and using different methods then to identify and screen for the best candidate. Then the idea would be focus on job relevance. Another aspect would be also interview skills. People should be trained. Very often at low level and mid-level positions, the people who make the hiring decisions are they have no training in how to conduct interviews, how to hire people. That leads very often to suboptimal decisions, because very often think of a foreign subsidiary. The CEO of a foreign subsidiary is a German manager. In Japan, I've seen it many times before. That manager is an engineer. He has no experience in HR, yet he has to make the final decision who to hire. And he has no experience in HR, he has no experience in interviewing, and then he has 3 people, and one guy speaks perfect English, is really sociable, very charming, but doesn't have very good job skills or whatsoever. But the other guys don't speak as good English, don't do this and that, and then very often he just picks the one who's the most charming and speaks the best English. It's a little, I exaggerate a bit, but that happens quite a bit. So it's important to train the people and include other raters. Because very often in these foreign subsidiaries, you have people in charge who are not HR experts, yet they make the final decisions also in these staffing decisions. Culture also has an influence. People have different cultural values and so forth, and that should be considered in the process. I think now I will just move on to some other aspects here in terms of selection methods. Here the idea is, again, you would rely on different aspects. So experiential approach, you would look into the past. You can look at resumes. Did the person work abroad? Did the person has the chance to work abroad, blah, blah, and so forth. And very often, large companies have a pool and development program, so that send people already at the early training stage. You join a company, you go for 3 months in a foreign country, again, you have global projects and so on, and you're being groomed for your expatriate assignment. And then you can easily fill the position. That would be ideal solution. Bosch, for instance, they have such a program. They are very well designed, and then also you can enter, I want to work abroad, and then you enter into a potential expat database, and maybe next year, 2 years later, you can then go for an international assignment. In Germany, we don't do it much, psychometric approach. You do all kinds of personality tests, a survey, or you have a psychologist evaluate employees. That's fairly common in Anglo-Saxon environment, less so in Germany. And then you also can think of risk assessment, whether there's a potential downside when selecting certain people. Selection methods vary across countries. Here's just some examples. References would be very important in Japan, or self-nomination. That's also, if you want to work abroad as an expat and you want to do that, the best way to become an expatriate is to say you want to become an expatriate. It sounds very stupid. But you need to address to the right people, maybe to your boss or boss, and then when the next position becomes open, they think of you, or maybe they can integrate it into already your career development.